Good morning, my name is Matthew Hugo from Weather Commerce, and this is this morning's weather brief on Tuesday the 13th of September. Today's weather brief will cover a summary on the West European 5-day average temperatures, the UK, Europe, Scandinavian precipitation, and finally global weather alerts. We'll start by taking a summarised look at the mean surface temperatures across Europe. And between days 11 and 15 there is model agreement and consistency, and as you will see, all of the available forecast models have temperatures very near to climate averages across the majority of Europe between days 11 and 15. Overall, between days 6 and 10 there is once again little significant change from yesterday, and that is for the majority of Europe to once again have temperatures very near to climate averages. However, some central and southern areas of Europe, including France and Switzerland for example, may have temperatures just trending slightly below climate averages. And finally, between days 2 and 5, temperatures across the majority of Europe are forecast to be a couple of degrees either above or slightly below, but some southern areas of Europe, including Iberia and across to Italy for example, is likely to have temperatures at least 3 or 4 degrees above climate norms. And now taking a look at the United Kingdom in some closer detail. And between days 11 and 15, as we move towards and beyond the weekend of the 24th and the 25th of September, the majority of the available forecast models do have temperatures very near to climate averages. There is model agreement and consistency for this, and as you can see, represented by the solid red line, I also expect temperatures very near to a climate average of around 13 degrees Celsius. The following weather chart for Friday the 23rd of September helps to generally give an illustration of why temperatures are forecast to be near to climate averages. Low pressure is forecast to be dominant across the United Kingdom throughout the remainder of September, producing a relatively mild west or southwesterly air mass, which is forecast to lead to very near to climate average temperatures. Overall, there is little significant change between days 6 and 10 as we move into the opening week of the 19th of September. The majority of the available forecast models are once again quite tightly packed around a mean or average temperature of 14 degrees Celsius, and I expect that temperatures are likely to be only perhaps 1 degree above a mean surface temperature of 14 degrees. And finally, within the short term, over the next 2 to 5 days, confidence levels are high given excellent model agreement for temperatures to be very near, if not actually at, a climate mean of around 14 or 15 degrees Celsius. And now taking a look at the expected European temperatures in some closer detail, and starting with the latest West European map view. And as you can see, the majority, if not all, of the available forecast models do signal temperatures across the majority of Europe to be very near to climate norms. The latest Benelux model comparison graph helps to illustrate this situation, and with the exception of a rogue and model outlier from one of the recent GFS runs, the majority, if not all, of the other available forecast models and my forecast has temperatures very near to climate averages, and this is quite representative of the majority of Europe between days 11 and 15. Between days 6 and 10 there is generally no significant change, and that is for the majority of Europe to have temperatures very near to climate averages, though perhaps with a trend for some central and southern areas of Europe to have temperatures just trending slightly below, particularly across, for example, parts of Switzerland and maybe down into Italy. The latest bias-corrected model comparison graph from Spain, for example, helps to illustrate that temperatures between days 6 and 10 may well be trending slightly above climate averages, but by only 1 or perhaps 2 degrees. My forecast does actually take temperatures across Spain to around 1 or 2 degrees above climate averages, which is not unexpected, but there is once again no significant risk of any extremes of temperature. And finally, between days 2 and 5, the majority of the available forecast models maintain temperatures to be generally within 1 to 3 degrees of climate averages, though perhaps trending slightly above across the far south of Europe, and perhaps trending slightly below across some northern and also eastern areas. And now taking a look at the expected precipitation totals across Scandinavia. And within the next 7 to 10 days in particular, precipitation totals are forecast to be generally near or trending above climate averages across most countries, but particularly across parts of Finland and also southern and western areas of Norway, where in excess of 100 millimetres of rainfall is possible. Within the longer term, as we move towards the end of September, some central areas of Scandinavia, including Sweden and perhaps Finland, may have precipitation totals near or perhaps trending slightly below climate averages, yet Norway maintains generally above climate averages with precipitation totals of at least 80 to 100 millimetres. And now taking a look at global weather alerts which highlight significant deviations from normal. And starting with the far northeast of the USA and also many western areas of Canada, where precipitation totals over the next 7 to 14 days are forecast to be well above climate averages, with perhaps up to 150 millimetres of rainfall in some places. This is a marked contrast when compared with some central and also northern regions of the United States and Canada, where very little precipitation is expected. Temperatures across Australia, particularly over the next 7 to 10 days, are forecast to be quite varied with regards to southern and northern regions. Southern areas may have temperatures at least 4 to 6 degrees above climate averages, yet northern regions are forecast to be markedly cooler with temperatures at least 2 to 4 degrees below climate norms. And finally, the latest precipitation forecasts across Japan are quite alarming. Precipitation totals within the next 7 to 14 days may well exceed 200 millimetres, which is comfortably 300% of normal totals, with the threat of some significant flooding. Thank you for listening to today's weather brief. Goodbye.